Christopher Andre Vialva, 40, was executed by lethal injection on September 24, 2020, more than 20 years after he murdered a young couple in the U.S. state of Texas. Vialva's death was the 7th execution of a federal inmate in 3 months, despite pleas from his lawyers that he was not mentally an adult at the time of the crime, being only 19 years old. Vialva was convicted in the slaying and robbery of an Iowa couple when he was 19. He and others, including his co-defendant and fellow death row inmate, Brandon Bernard, carjacked Todd and Stacie Bagley on their way home from church, according to court records. The couple was kept in the trunk, while the young men tried to pull money from their victims' bank accounts and pawn a wedding ring. Eventually, Vialva shot both of the victims in the head while they were in the trunk, and Bernard set the car on fire, the records state. Vialva's death was scheduled to be the 7th federal execution this year after a push by President Donald Trump's administration to restart the federal death penalty after a 17-year hiatus. Since the U.S. Supreme Court reinstated the death penalty nationally in 1976, only 3 men on federal death row were executed before 2020. Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber, was executed in 2001, and 2 executions in 2001 and 2003 stemmed from Texas murders. Vialva was pronounced dead at 6:46 p.m. Eastern, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. It was the first federal execution for a Texas case this year, and the 40-year-old was the first black man killed in the 2020 federal executions, which are taking place during a pandemic. In Texas, the state that by far executes the most people, several executions have been taken off the calendar due to the new coronavirus, resulting in what is expected to be the lowest number of state executions in 1 year in nearly a quarter century. In his final statement, Vialva asked God to comfort the families of Todd and Stacie Bagley, the couple he killed. The Bagleys, from the U.S. state of Iowa, were robbed at gunpoint as they headed home from church in 1999. According to court records obtained by the Texas Tribune, Vialva and his co-defendant and fellow death row inmate Brandon Bernard carjacked the couple before locking them in the boot as they attempted to pawn Stacie's wedding ring and pull money from their bank accounts. Vialva eventually shot both of the victims before Bernard set the car on fire in an attempt to conceal the crime. Court documents stated the Bagleys sung "Jesus Loves Us" as the car was doused in lighter fluid and set on fire. Vialva's mother watched her son's execution from the prison's viewing room. An Associated Press reporter in the room detailed what Vialva experienced before his death. The 40-year-old, who was strapped to the table where authorities administer the fatal dose of pentobarbital, reportedly opened his eyes wide as the poison flooded into his body. After scanning the room, Vialva gave a brief yawn, frowned and then turned his head to look at his mother. Minutes later, Vialva had stopped moving, his head fixed towards his mother with his mouth open. An official waited 20 minutes before walking into the death chamber and listening to Vialva's chest with a stethoscope. Moments later, a voice over the intercom declared Vialva had died at 6:42 p.m. However, his time of death was later pushed 4 minutes to 6:46 p.m. The Justice Department offered no explanation. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.